Hi, welcome to my live daily workout. Today, it's all about the upper body push. So we are going to be hitting some push-ups in this workout, so get ready for that. Before that, I'm going to do a little bit of core bracing. Hope you already had a chance to get warmed up. If you haven't, you can do that quickly now, and I'll just show you what equipment I'm working with. So obviously, I've got my mat here on the ground. That's going to help make it a little bit more comfortable when we get on our forearms and on our palms. And then I got a resistance band, about 1/2 inch in width there. If you have a band slightly smaller or slightly more tense, no worries, it's all good, whatever you want to work with. And then I got for my weight just the 10-pound ball. So that's all I've got. If you've got a dumbbell, kettlebell, or multiple of either, or even like a sack of flour or something like that, that'll work perfectly, okay? You can adjust the intensity up or down with any of this stuff in terms of the weight or band or no weight or no band that you're using. Okay, so always start with a little bit of core bracing before I get into those bigger compound movements. So I'm going to do my standard, which is a plank circuit. So I'm going to do side plank on either side, as well as a classic forearm plank. So start with a side plank on this side. Side plank is going to be from the elbow. The upper arm here is going to be straight up and down. That means the shoulder is going to be stacked directly on top of the elbow. Nice, safe shoulder position. You can do your feet one of two ways. You can do strided with the top leg forward or stacked with the ankles right on top of one another. This is a little bit more challenging in terms of balance. From here, you're going to be a straight line from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head. You're going to bridge up at the hips like so. Make sure the core is tight, the ribs are down, rib cage is not flaring. I just let my arm chill here. You can do this if you like. And I'm a straight line here. I'm also squeezing this elbow in towards my torso to keep this area nice and tight. I like to point my feet as well. I point my toes up. That helps me keep that tightness and concentration in the lower body there too. Gonna hang out here for just a few more seconds. Then gonna roll into classic forearm plank, which is gonna look like this. You wanna be, once again, a straight line from the bottom of the feet to the top of the head. Nice tight core. Make sure your butt's not too high up in the air. Back is flat. Shoulder blades protracted forward so your head's not drooping and you're not just hanging out on your shoulders. We're going to do here for about 20 seconds total. So just a few more seconds. Then we're going to roll over into side plank on the other side. And this side plank is just going to be a mirror image of that first one. So once again, straight line through the top of the head, squeezing in here to keep this lat nice and tight. Ribs down, core's tight, all that stuff. Basically just tightness throughout the body. And the spine is nice and neutral. Few more seconds hanging out here. And you can relax. Little breather, shake that out. Going to do that little circuit one more time. Then we'll have a nice 360-degree core bracing going on. You notice we're hitting the obliques, then we're hitting more of the frontal abdominals and the transverse or the deeper abdominals. Then we're hitting the obliques on the other side. So that's going to give us that nice round bracing all the way around the spine. And from there, the core is activated, ready to go, and we can hit those bigger, more complicated lifts. Okay, one more side plank on this side from the elbow. Once again, nice straight line here, and a nice straight line from your head down through the bottom of your feet. You want to think rib cage down at all times. It's really easy to let the rib cage flare a little bit, but what happens then, I'll just show you this, is you get a little bit of arch in the lower back. See? That's what happens when these ribs come forward. The spine is naturally going to come forward and arch too, and you do want to avoid that. And I'm going to roll into that classic forearm plank. With this, to keep the midsection tight, you want to think knitting the lower ribs and the hips together, just tightening up that little area there and not letting anything sag there. You also don't want to be turning your head like I'm doing. Keep that spine nice and neutral. Shoulder blades protracted forward. A few more seconds here. Now let's roll on the other side. Exact same thing here as we've been doing. Halfway. And relax. Okay, just going to give you a quick overview of the exercises we're going to be doing today. So 4 exercises, 10 reps of each, 3 sets. Going to run all 4 together like a superset. Then we'll take a little rest, and then we'll hit that same cycle 2 more times. So we're going to keep the pace fairly quick to work the cardio in there as well, of course. So prioritizing upper body push today. So we're going to start with some banded push-ups. It's going to be classic push-up form, except I'm adding a band for some added resistance. There's totally ways to back off on that, like regressions, like just a regular push-up without a band, for example. Or you can do a hands elevated push-up, and I'll show you what I mean when we get there. Next thing, we got squat variation, which today is going to be split squats. So it's going to be some nice work for the quads there. After that, our upper body pull is actually going to be a little bit of accessory work for the arms. So I'm going to do some bicep curls with the band. You can do it with dumbbells too, whatever. And then lastly, going to do some hamstring curls. Get the backs of the legs there as well. And I am going to throw a finisher in there at the end today. Going to be pretty core focused at the end with that finisher. So you can stick around for that if you like as well. Okay, so banded push-ups. First of all, if you want to do a hands elevated push-up to make things easier, you wouldn't go from the ground. You could elevate the hands by, say, placing them on the couch and pushing up to a couch or a chair or a stool, any kind of raised surface. It's going to make that easier. Okay, this is kind of like one of the harder versions of a push-up here, of course. What I'm going to do, and if you want to follow along with me, you are welcome to. I'm going to just stick my thumbs through this band. That's how I do it. And then I put it around the back there, wrap around my lats, just beneath the shoulder blades. Then I'm going to tuck it underneath the elbows. Okay, so it's basically like that. The way I'm going to address this push-up is I'm going to have my upper arms about a 45-degree angle to my torso. So it's not out like this, and it's not super tight in like this, which would be more of a tricep dominant push-up. It's right in the middle there, so we are emphasizing the pectorals. Okay, now when I get the dress for this push-up or any push-up, I actually like to screw my the base of my palms into the ground. So it's sort of like I just do a little corkscrew motion there, and that tightens up the lats. All right, so you see that little tightness that comes in there. I'm going to keep the core nice and tight. I'm going to pull myself down and then push myself off, just like that. I'm a nice straight line through the top of my head, not let my head droop. I'm going to do 10 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That feels hard. Don't worry, you're not the only one. Okay. Split squats gonna be goblet style, meaning you're gonna hold that weight nice and tight to the chest, elbows tucked in like so. So the split squat is also called a static lunge. Okay. So you're gonna step back into a lunge position from here. This is where you're going to dip down for that split squat. So most of the weight's on the front leg. You're driving through the heel, but you want to keep the toes down too. Clamp the ground with those toes for balance. You should be up on the back toe, ball of the foot area with that back foot. Sorry, big toe, not back toe. And you're keeping the core tight, spine nice and neutral, shoulders back, that weight's tucked close to the chest. You're going to do 10 per side, okay? 1, 2, 3. Keep pushing down with the big toe on the front leg. 4, 5. You don't want to drop on that back knee, but if it kisses the ground, that's fine. 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, switching legs. Same idea on this side. Dipping down. 1, 2. Want to make sure you're not pitching forward too much. That knee on the front leg doesn't want to track in front of the toe. Wants to be more or less in line with it. I think that's 5. Lost count. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Next up, going to be that upper body pull variation. So I think I'm going to do this in a tall kneel here. This is just bicep curls, guys. So it's nice and simple. If you just have dumbbells, you don't have to get too creative with it. You just stand up. You make sure those elbows are nice and tight to the side, and you're just doing isolated curls. I'm doing the same form, except to get the proper tension on this band, I'm going to do them in a tall kneel, which is going to bring the core into it a little bit more too, because I've got to keep the hips locked out, and I've got to keep tight in the lower abs so that I'm not bending over, that kind of thing, right? I just want to get the right amount of tension on here, almost no tension to start with, and then as I curl up, just
going to be quite a bit of tension. Okay? Let's say you have a band like me, but you don't want to do them in a tall kneel. What I would recommend if your band is the same length and tension is you stand on it and you just do one arm at a time. That's all the length of the band is going to allow you to do, and you would just curl like so. I couldn't really do a standing 2-arm curl right now because the band isn't long enough to be way too tense. Okay? So just a couple different ways to do it there. All right. Gonna keep those hips locked down and forward, core's tight. My elbows are tucked into the side. Gonna make sure that I'm not doing this kind of stuff, keeping those ribs down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, fourth of 4. We got those hamstring curls. So these curls are gonna be lying face down. I'm gonna sort of make a little cushion for my forehead with my hands so that I'm not kissing the ground. If you have a dumbbell, it's gonna be way easier for you than it is for me because this ball is kind of crazy to hold on to. Basically, you're gonna tuck the weight between your ankles so you can just tuck the handle of the dumbbell in there. It'll get it nice and snug. I'm just gonna hope that ball doesn't roll out on me. You really wanna squeeze. All right, once again, cushion for the head, right? You wanna keep the butt down. You don't want it to be coming off the ground, right? You wanna keep those hips pressed into the floor. From here, you're gonna really squeeze that weight between your ankles, point the feet up, so dorsiflexion, okay? And then little squeeze at the top. As you curl that in, you're gonna squeeze the glutes at the top, like so. So that's the lying hamstring curl. You're gonna do 10 of these, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nice. I'm just happy I managed to hold on to that ball. So those are the 4 exercises. We're going to do a little breather here, get some water, get your breath back under control. We don't want the heart rate to drop down to resting rate because I'm trying to work the cardio in there, but I don't want you to be gasping for breath and super fatigued either. Okay? So let's give ourselves at least another 30 seconds here. So we got those banded push-ups or whatever push-up variation you're doing. Maybe it's hands elevated, maybe no band, whatever. And we have our split squats, goblet stop, and we have those bicep curls, whatever weight you're playing with, whatever method you're doing, it's all good, just a bicep curl basically. And then we got those lying hamstring curls. So it's gonna be 2 more sets, 10 reps of each. Gonna be going a little bit quicker this time, a little bit less explanation, okay? Now that we have an idea of what we're doing. Take your time getting set up for the push-ups. Just gonna wrap that around once again, tucking underneath the elbows. I got that nice 45-degree angle with the upper arms. Gonna be screwing the base of my palms into the ground, tighten up those lats, drawing myself down, pushing myself off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Goblet style split squats. Staying super tight up top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switching legs. Once again, get set, get your core tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, bicep curls. I'm gonna do them in that tall kneel again. This actually I find is a fairly comfortable position for me. You can totally do them standing. This feels a little bit weird for most people, but I like it. Okay, elbows in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we got our hamstring curls. If I'm going too fast for you, please feel free, slow down, set your own pace, get your breath back. If you're watching this on YouTube later, you can just pause it, play it again, all right? Tuck that weight in between the ankles, little cushion for the head, hips down, dorsiflexed ankles, meaning toes pointing up towards the top of the foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, little breather. One more set of each. I'm going to keep everything exactly the same this time, folks. Not going to make any of these exercises any crazier than they already are, because that finisher is waiting for us. Okay, a few more seconds here. I'm just going to get set up. Make sure that band is in a comfy spot, not too low, not too high. You don't want it moving on you when you're doing your push-ups. All right, get set up. Address that push-up, corkscrew in the hands into the ground. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Split squats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switching feet. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And get set up for those bicep curls. All right. Get that appropriate amount of tension. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Lastly, we got those hamstring curls. Make sure that weight is nice and snug, tight between the ankles. Point those toes up. Hips down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, that's it for the main resistance component today. Going to do a little core finisher, like I mentioned, but we are going to take a nice break before we do that, as I explain it to you. Slow breath in through the nose. Slow exhale out through the mouth. Deep breath again. And slowly out. Best way to get your heart rate under control. Those slow, deep breaths with that slow exhale. And you really want to exhale everything, because if you don't, your lungs are going to be full of air that needs to escape. Meanwhile, you're breathing again, so you can't breathe as deeply. So then you get into those quick, shallow breaths and your heart rate just keeps going, right? So definitely commit to that exhale. Okay, so core finisher here is going to have 3 parts, 3 different little movements. It's going to be 30 reps, 20 reps, 10 reps. It's going to be 30 ankle touches. It's going to be 20 leg raises, and then it's going to be 10 in and outs. So it's a tough little circuit. Used to get this one in boxing class for sure, and it's a fun one. So I'll show you ankle raises first off. You're lying on your back like so. You're going to stick those feet or legs straight up into the air, hands up by the face. You're reaching, crunching, touching the opposite side of, the outside of that opposite ankle. So you're crunching, reach, and you touch the outside of the opposite ankle. Okay, so that's going to be 30, and that's like 30 total, so like 15 per side basically, right? After that, you're going to quickly tuck your hands under your butt, and from here you're doing leg raises. So you want to keep those toes pointed, core super tight, and you're trying to get those feet right up to that 90 again, and not quite touching the ground on the way down. If you find that's a little bit too taxing or makes your lower back hurt, reduce that range of motion, okay? You don't have to go all the way to the ground like that. You don't have to go all the way up to a 90. Or you just skip that one, you know what I mean? It's all good. Okay, third one after that, in and outs. These are the tough ones, okay? So you're gonna be basically on your, almost on your tailbone, just your butt's touching the ground. Your arms are out like this, and you come in and you go out. You come in and you go out. So you're sort of hugging your knees, but you're not actually touching the knees. You're just kind of coming around them. All right, because if you grab your knees, you're gonna stop, right? So you're just gonna do 10 of that without letting any other part of you touch the ground beside your butt. All right, so 30 ankle touches, 20 leg raises, 10 in and outs. We'll go in about 20 seconds here. It's gonna be really fast, obviously. We don't wanna be hanging out too long with our legs up in the air. Okay, so it's gonna be a nice little pace. I'll count it out for you. All right, get set for those ankle touches. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, hands under the butt. All right, leg raises. 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax the neck. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Up on your butt, in and outs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Halfway. 6, 7, 8. Almost there. 9, and 10. That's it for today, folks. Great work. Thank you for joining me. If you're watching on YouTube later, please subscribe for more. If you're just watching on Instagram, I will see you tomorrow. All right. Now it's time to foam roll, stretch it out. Take care of yourself. Eat some protein. All that good stuff. Thanks.